We have three scenarios here. We chosen three scenarios to discuss and have a special presentation by the Iranian Fellowship of Presenting Narcotic Anonymous in the Islamic setting. So the first one is about school asks for the presentation. A principal from a local school asks us to speak to them about NA at a school rally. Upon further questioning, we understand that this is an anti-drug rally and that the expectation is we are there to tell the kids that drugs were bad. So the question is, do we accept the invitation? Or do we decline? And why? Do we have the resource to do the event? Are there volunteers? Is there any literature? Is there funding available? And what else can we do in response to this request? I would like to invite maybe two of the participants. Please raise your hand.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy. I'm an addict. I am the PR chair for the South African region, and thanks very much for inviting me. Sorry, I'm just in my car because I've been on my way to work. So for this specific scenario, I've got a third scenario, and it's what we frequently need to do here. We also have the war on drugs, whether it be a school, government organization, NPO, radio station, television station.
Sandy, please slow down.
Slow down.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. And we're always asked to have an opinion on drugs. Drugs are bad. The state of addiction in South Africa, it's always the same. And at that point in time, I will speak to the requester. I will not do it via email. I speak directly. And I tell them what NA can and cannot do according to our traditions. And I also explain how we do it. So when I attend, I always start a presentation of 4 key messages: that NA is free to any member, that we are free from alignment to any outside organization, religion. There's no exclusions of creed, culture, race, age, demographic, and we focus on recovery, not addiction. That we do not employ any outside workers like therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and social workers. That it's a peer-to-peer program. And if they accept, then we're able to go ahead. But I ask them to reframe the discussion. Personally, for us, it's very rare that we will ever go to a school. I find it resource consuming, and because they want to use a scare tactic with the children, the message doesn't really come across unless I have, oh man, this guy's blowing leaves. Unless I have a young member where the children can relate to. Because if I have a 45-year-old man presenting to 16-year-old children, there is no the kids cannot relate to that talk. And they also can't relate to 20 years of addiction. And, you know, kids are bulletproof. They think it can't happen to them. So the same goes for wellness days at companies. Nobody that works for the company is going to pitch up at the Narcotics Anonymous table because they don't want the employers to know that there is a problem. In our country, it's the same with the AIDS and HIV tables. Nobody goes there because they don't remain anonymous. So I know I'm talking a lot. I have to go into work. For me, COVID has helped Narcotics Anonymous significantly because we're able to do webinars and use the online platforms, and digital helps me reach a lot more people than I would if I were to go and present on a one-on-one basis. And we're really fortunate. We've got Drug Awareness Month now. So I've got about 40 radio shares happening this month. I have had the opportunity to present to government. I've had the opportunity to present to the policymakers, and each time they've agreed to put it around what Narcotics Anonymous is and isn't. We've got no requests from schools because the schools have got very limited access from their children. For the schools or the police or any other Department of Health are asked to go up a layer and for them to invite their teachers. And I drive awareness at a teacher level, at a principal level, to if they identify children who have issues with addiction, that they refer them to Narcotics Anonymous. I also use post as a medium to reach schools. And I send a letter of introduction to the principal, and I send a simple poster, and I ask them to put it up on the bulletin board. Children, but more importantly, parents can see that Narcotics Anonymous exists. So between the school or the parent, they get hold of Narcotics Anonymous. So there was a lot of talking to answer a simple question, but personally, our subcommittee does not like to engage in school children presentations. It's not the right audience. Parents are, and so are teachers. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. Many points Sandy made, but I think the main thing she said was that no, we don't generally make presentations to schools, and we tell them what we are. So that's important. We are not going to be giving an opinion on drugs, whether they are good or bad. So that's one answer. Kamal?
Okay, hello. Hello to all. I am honored to all of the
کمال باید بیای تو زبان انگلیسی. کمال عزیز بیا انگلیسی رو انتخاب کن. برای صحبت کردن باید بیای رو کانال انگلیسی که همه بشنون.
کدومو بزنم؟
دوستانی که میخوان صحبت کنن باید بیان تو کانال انگلیسی. اومد دمت.
Hello to all. Honor to all of the member of Narcotics Anonymous. My name is Kamal. I am an addict from Iran. Talking about a school, for me first, we must think who is in a school and what do I do for them. We must know many of the children in the school don't know what is the drug. They are living for enjoy. We must know, I have a message that in general, and better all of the message in the world if we give the children with the passion, with the love. We must like them. We don't speaking with them. We don't obligation must. You must cut the drag. We must show wave to children in their school. What? I remember 2 or 3 years ago, we go to one of the school that the children use drug. PR go there and speaking with the teacher and give a time for the children that drag. Who says we know who use drug, but we tell the teacher and the manager of the school, no. My message is a way that all of the world, all of the people, especially children, find the way without using drug. My opinion is live without using drug is the best way. My duty is send this message to the school, to the every place in the world. If I can love narcotic and abuse, we must serve, same you, same all of the service of the PR. I have PR, served in the PR, and one from the higher power take a power to all of the members carry the message of the NA. Love all of you and hope nobody use drug in the world. God help us that take the message in the world. Thank you so much and love all of you.
Thank you, Kamal. Mercy, shukran, shukriya. So important points, right? Sandy said that a couple of important points Sandy made. One is generally the PR committee looks at giving the message not so much to schools, but to older people. But she's also said that if you go to a school, make sure the people who go to the school are younger. There's no point taking someone who's 50 years old to a school who's got 20 years of drug use. Children will not be able to relate. Kamal made an important point that when you go to a school, you need to be careful that you're not educating people about the kind of drugs, right? Because they are young children. You have to be careful. Better to speak to the teachers, better to speak to the manager, right? But if you do make a presentation to children, and generally when we decide, we say senior children, right? Class 9, 10, 11, and 12, you know, not to children who are in class 5, right? And we do say that we have found a better way to live without drugs. Our lives are better today because we are not doing drugs. So that message goes out. And I think it's important to remember that we don't know who is going to hear our message, right? It could be a child who's using drugs who nobody knows, but hears something in a presentation and comes to an NA meeting or calls up the phone or the helpline. So these are important things to think about. So we spoke about, do we accept the invitation? Do we decline?
So yeah, I mean, from Amitabh already explained that, from Sandy and also from Kamal. Do we accept the invitation? Do we decline? And why? So the important point is already made. Do we have the resource to do the event? Do we have the volunteer? Do we have the literature? Making sure also we have the literature of the NA. And is there funding available? And yeah, and of course, discuss it with the committee, with your area that is get the invitation, and or the home group itself or region. So yeah, this is the first scenario if the school asks for the presentation.